If one red trade ruins your day, you don't have an edge. You have a tolerance problem. The 1% aren't winning because they predict better. They lose better. They don't spiral. They don't revenge trade. And they don't try to make the money back emotionally. If a small loss knocks you off your plan, it's not the strategy that's broken. It's your ability to sit in discomfort. Until you can tolerate losses without reacting, the market will keep exposing you. If you've ever noticed how one loss can change everything, your mood, your focus, your discipline, this video is for you. Most traders spend their time chasing better entries and smarter strategies, but very few of them learn how to sit with a loss without unraveling. And that's the difference. This video isn't about avoiding losses. It's about understanding why they hit so hard and how your reaction to them quietly determines your profitability. If you want to know what truly separates consistent traders from everyone else, stay with me because loss tolerance is the real edge. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Michael Jordan. You experience losses as personal failure, not business expenses. When a trade goes red, it doesn't just feel like money lost. It feels like you messed up. Your chest tightens, your thoughts spiral, and suddenly the loss carries emotional weight far beyond its dollar value. Instead of seeing it as a routine cost of participation, your mind treats it as evidence that you're behind, not good enough, or repeating the same mistake again. That emotional charge makes the loss harder to tolerate. Over time, this association trains your nervous system to fear losses instead of expect them. You don't just want to avoid losing money, you want to avoid the feeling of inadequacy that comes with it. And when losses feel personal, tolerance disappears. You react, rush, or retreat because your identity feels threatened. And when losses feel like threats to who we are, your relationship with risks itself begins to change. Many traders say they understand losses are part of the game, but emotionally, they still treat each one as an exception. There's an unconscious belief that if you analyze enough, prepare enough, or learn one more thing, you should be able to avoid them. So when a loss happens, it feels unfair, like something went wrong. This expectation creates fragility because when losses aren't fully accepted, every red trade feels like a disruption instead of a routine occurrence. Tolerance can't develop in an environment where you're constantly surprised by what's inevitable. Until losses are emotionally normalized, not just intellectually understood, your system will continue to resist them. Even when traders begin to accept losses in theory, another obstacle often makes them unbearable in practice. Loss tolerance collapses when you need the trade to work. Maybe you're under financial stress, trying to catch up, or feeling behind compared to others. In those moments, losses don't just reduce your account, they threaten your sense of security. The margin for error feels razor thin, so even small losses feel intolerable. When pressure is high, your nervous system can't stay regulated. Losses trigger urgency, fear, and the impulse to fix things immediately. That's why tolerance isn't just psychological, it's situational. Until you reduce pressure through position sizing, realistic expectations, and emotional pacing, losses will continue to feel overwhelming instead of manageable. And beneath all of this sits one final pain point that often goes unrecognized but quietly shapes every reaction. You never were taught how to stay emotionally present with discomfort. In fact, most people were taught to avoid discomfort, suppress emotions, or push through pain, not to sit with it calmly. So when a loss hits, your instinct is to escape the feeling, close the platform, jump into another trade, overanalyze, or emotionally shut down. This problem isn't the loss, it's the lack of skills for staying present with it. Loss tolerance isn't about being numb or tough. It's about having the capacity to feel disappointment, frustration, or uncertainty without letting those emotions hijack your behavior. When that skill is missing, losses feel unbearable. Not because they're large, but because there's nowhere for the emotion to go. Learning to stay with discomfort is what transforms losses from triggers into information.
Pause. Before you scroll, before you open another chart, before you take the next trade, just pause for one moment. And first, I want to genuinely thank you for watching this channel. Because if you're here, chances are you're trying to figure this market out. And that alone takes courage. Trading is exciting when it's working, but when it's not, it can feel frustrating, confusing, and even a little defeating. You study indicators, you watch videos, you try to follow strategies, but somehow the market still moves in ways that leave you thinking, why did it reverse right after I entered? Why does it hit my stop and then go exactly where I thought it would? Well, let me say something that many trading channels won't tell you. Most traders aren't struggling because they lack intelligence. They're struggling because they're trying to trade without clear levels and structure. They're reacting emotionally instead of preparing strategically. That's exactly why I created our free trading community. Inside the group, I share the exact SPY levels I'm watching for the next trading day, the areas where the market is most likely to react. These levels give you something every trader needs but rarely has: clarity. Instead of guessing, you're prepared. Instead of chasing, you're patient. Instead of trading fearfully, you're trading with structure. And the best part, it's completely free. So if you want access to tomorrow's SPY levels and a community of traders learning to approach the market with discipline and confidence, join the free group in the description below. Then come back here and comment levels so I can personally welcome you into the community. You don't have to navigate the market alone. Let's trade with clarity.
Once you understand why loss tolerance has been so difficult, something important happens. You stop blaming yourself. These perspectives aren't personal defects. They're signals that you've been operating without the internal framework needed for this environment. And the good news is this: the same way loss tolerance has learned through experience, it can be rebuilt through intentional shifts in how you relate to loss, to discomfort, and uncertainty. Let's walk through the 4 internal changes that make that possible. Your nervous system was designed to protect you from harm, not to manage probabilities. So when a trade goes against you, your body reacts as if something unsafe just happened. Heart rate increases, muscles tense, urgency rises. Loss tolerance disappears not because you lack discipline, but because your system is trying to protect you from what it perceives as a threat. The transformation begins when you teach your body that losses are not emergencies. Through smaller risks, consistent routines, and repeated exposure to controlled losses, your nervous system learns that red trades are survivable. Over time, calm replaces panic. Losses stop triggering fight or flight and start registering as data. This is how tolerance is built, through safety, not force. Once the body no longer treats loss as danger, the mind finally has room to change how it interprets what's happening. So psychologically, loss tolerance is fueled by identity attachment. When wins feel like validation and losses feel like failure, your emotional response will always outweigh your logical plan. The mind wants reassurance, and when it doesn't get it, it reacts by overtrading, revenge trading, or shutting down. The shift occurs when you redefine success. Instead of asking, "Did I make money?" you ask, "Did I follow my rules?" This moves your sense of worth from outcomes to behavior. Each time you honor your process, win or lose, you strengthen self-trust. And self-trust is what allows the mind to stay steady in the face of uncertainty. But how we interpret loss and worth didn't begin with trading. It was shaped by what we were taught about mistakes, risks, and survival. You see, many Black families teach their children, often out of love and protection, that they cannot afford to fall short. This message didn't come from nowhere. It was shaped by lived experience in a society where mistakes have historically been judged more harshly, opportunities fewer, and second chances harder to come by. Parents and elders learned that excellence wasn't optional, it was a shield. You had to be twice as good, emotionally controlled, and visibly competent just to be treated as equal. Falling short didn't just mean failure, it could mean danger, exclusion, or lost opportunity. That lesson makes sense in a discriminatory world, but it becomes a serious liability in trading. Markets are one of the few environments where losses are not a sign of incompetence, they are a requirement. When you've been raised to believe mistakes are unacceptable, every losing trade feels like a personal threat. Instead of seeing loss as tuition, your nervous system interprets it as proof you're failing at something you were never allowed to fail at in the first place. That pressure makes it incredibly difficult to tolerate drawdowns, follow stops, or stay emotionally neutral. This mindset often shows up as overprotection of ego and capital. You hesitate on entries because being wrong feels too costly. You move stops because taking a loss feels like confirming a fear you were trained to avoid. You overtrade after losses because you're trying to restore a sense of worth of competence as quickly as possible. None of this comes from greed, it comes from survival conditioning. The problem is trading punishes survival-based behavior. It rewards calm repetition, not emotional urgency. Profitability requires a redefinition of what a mistake means. In trading, falling short is not failure, it's feedback. But when your upbringing equated falling short with vulnerability, shame, or danger, your body resists that lesson. You may intellectually understand risk management, yet emotionally rebel against it. This is why many Black talented traders struggle not with knowledge, but with consistency. The internal cost of being wrong sometimes feels too high. The transformation begins when you consciously separate historical survival rules from present day trading rules. Trading is not a courtroom, a job interview, or a hostile environment where your worth is on trial. It is a probabilistic system that demands experimentation, loss, and patience. Giving yourself permission to fall short in this space without self-punishment is not reckless. It's reclamation. It's choosing growth over inherited fear. When that shift happens, trading becomes lighter. Losses stop feeling like indictments. Discipline becomes possible because your nervous system no longer is fighting to protect your identity. And from that place, profitability stops being about proving anything and starts being about executing calmly, one trade at a time. Once survival pressure is released, there's still one final layer that determines whether loss tolerance truly sticks: where you place your trust. Spiritually, loss intolerance often reflects a need for control. When outcomes feel uncertain, the urge to manage, fix, or force results intensifies. Losses then feel like failure or abandonment rather than part of a larger process of growth. The transformation comes from surrender, not resignation, but trust. You prepare diligently, execute faithfully, and release what you cannot control. Losses no longer shake your foundation, they refine it. When trust replaces control, peace replaces urgency. And from that place, loss tolerance becomes natural, not because losses don't matter, but because they no longer define you. Loss tolerance isn't something you're born with. It's something you grow into. And the fact that you've stayed with this conversation tells me you're already doing the work most traders avoid. You're not weak for reacting to losses. You're human. What matters now is that you understand why those reactions happen and that you have the power to reshape them. When you stop fighting losses and start learning from them, trading changes. You no longer rush to make the pain disappear or prove something to the market. You begin to meet losses with steadiness, curiosity, and intention. That's when emotional control stops being a struggle and starts becoming a skill. You are allowed to slow this process down. You are allowed to build tolerance one decision at a time. Consistency doesn't come from eliminating losses. It comes from responding to them in a way that keeps you aligned with your plan. Every calm response is a small win, even on red days. This work reaches beyond trading. Learning to tolerate discomfort without spiraling strengthens your patience, your trust, and your ability to stay grounded in uncertainty. Those qualities don't just improve your performance, they change how you move through life. The most powerful traders aren't the ones who never lose. They're the ones who lose without unraveling. They understand that composure is capital and regulation is leverage. That understanding is available to you too. To help you go deeper, I've created a free guidebook designed to walk you through these concepts with clarity and structure. It's not about fixing you, it's about supporting you as you build real tolerance step by step in a way that feels grounded and sustainable. You'll find the guidebook linked in the comments. Take your time with it. Revisit it when losses feel heavy. Let it remind you that you're not behind. You're building the edge that actually lasts. If you feel seen here, help someone else feel seen too. Comment so this space stays human. Like it so the algorithm will work for us, and share it with another Black family who deserves access to this information. You've got this. Peace and blessings, Dr. O.